Week 6 of the National Football League. We've got some great finishes today. Keyshawn and the boys battle the G-Men. They go OT. No Big Ben, big problems for Pittsburgh. OT spelled Jags. All Broncos early in Denver. Can Brady lead a comeback for the Pats? Ricky's back, but a Bucks back not named Cadillac steals the show. Bad week for Culpepper and the Vikings. Only gets worse in Chicago. And Vic banged up early against the Saints. A wild fourth quarter decides that one. All that and more on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Hello once again, everybody, along with Tom Jackson for our 19th season. Welcome to NFL Primetime. And, well, this was a day when defensive and special teams touchdown, return after return after return, overtime games. I mean, it was, you didn't want to leave the set at the last 2 minutes.
I thought we saw a lot of odd plays today. Odd plays in the red zone, people coming, from out on the field, getting into the red zone. Just odd day today for the NFL.
Well, you would have hoped the Minnesota Vikings did after the 2 weeks that they had, including a bye week, including reports of a couple of cruise ships rented on Lake Minnetonka that reportedly sexual improprieties. You would think that their sanctuary would be a football game in the division against the Bears. Not the case. Here we go. It was just 2 weeks that could not have gotten any worse, except it did. Former Bear Paul Edinger, what caused Brad Johnson to throw an incomplete pass? Mike Tice just could only scratch his head. Kyle Orton to Desmond Clark a couple of times. How about the play that Clark makes to hit the pylon top?
Yeah, and we're going to get a great look at it. This is a sideline camera. The angle is right down the goal line, and you see him do a great job, Clark does, of getting that ball across the plane of the goal line for a touchdown.
Did we say that it was a bad day? Look at Edinger here, try to set sail here on a second field goal attempt, but this time blocked by Alfonso Boone. The Bears had beaten the Vikings at the Bears' home stadium. Remember, they played 1 year in Illinois 4 straight times. Then, Charles Tillman intercepts Culpepper's pass and returns it 55 yards all the way to the 3. Sets up another Orton to Clark touchdown. Believe me, the Bears weren't throwing for a lot of yards, but given that, it's now 14-3. Thomas Jones came in iffy, left. No question here. He had 2 touchdown runs, 21-3. Duff Bears. 4.5 minutes to go in the game. 4th and 9 Vikes. One last shot. No last shots. The anchor dragging Culpepper at the 1. They turn the ball over on downs. Bears score again. 28-3, and the Chicago Bears. They're 2-3 for Minnesota. 3 more turnovers. Actually, the Bears, I mean, they got under 200 yards. They turn the ball over 3 times, but they win by 25 points against a Viking team clearly reeling. The coach knows it.
If I was to say it didn't at all, I'd probably be lying to you, and I don't think any of the local guys would tell you that I've lied. Hopefully they won't tell you that. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I can't tell you how much. No, look, it doesn't play a role in dropping footballs and jumping off sides. A great coach that I admire, Bill Parcells, says, I'll take all the penalties except for the offsides. Those are on the players, and I agree with that. That's a lack of focus and concentration.
I guess the good news, if there is any for the Vikings, is we're mid-October. The season goes to January. Time. But it's going to get worse before it gets better, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I thought that Coach Tice used the exact right word. You can't account for the drop balls and the missed opportunities by the quarterback or defense is not making plays. But football is a game of focus, and you certainly knew that this past week, this team, the Vikings, were going to have a very hard time focusing on the task at hand. This is what I expected fully in terms of the way that they were going to play. I think now the dynamic becomes, do they get a break when they go home? I don't think so. I think that the focus now is going to be whatever's going on with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office and the league, and all of those things will have to be dealt with by this football team rather than thinking about what you're going to do on the field.
They're going to have to dig pretty deep. However, the Bears at 2-3 move into first place in the NFC North Division, and idle Green Bay at 1-4 now is just one game out, only in the North. When we return, the Patriots and Broncos. What a game this turned out to be. It looked like an early blowout. Giants and Cowboys go extra. Turned out to be a defensive struggle after all. Surprise.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution. And NikeGridiron.com. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Cincinnati Bengals finally lost a game. That's right, they finally lost a game last week. Carson Palmer in Tennessee. They have struggled the last 5 years against the Titans. Here's Carson, complete to Kevin Walter, then Palmer to Chris Perry. And the Bengals were down early big. Now they trail at 10-7 to Tennessee. 9 for 9 that drive for Carson Palmer. Tennessee leading 17-10, the youngest team in the league. Steve McNair picked off by Odell Thurman, the rookie linebacker. You like him, Tom?
Yeah, the middle linebacker. I think this guy's going to be a great player. Got that instinctive thing that you look for from your man in the middle.
So from behind again, now it's 17-all. Under 5 minutes to go in the game. Chad Johnson going against the number 1 draft pick. That'll be Pac-Man Jones. I remember that game. It's a flag, and the Bengals now 1st and 10 at the 20. So Chad Johnson working against. Time. The comedy man shows up here finally. Chad Johnson beats Pac-Man. Flag on the Titans on that play, and it's 24-20 Cincinnati. McNair to Chris Brown. The ball comes out. Torrey James, the Pro Bowler, returns it to the 1, and Cincinnati 5-1 start. They haven't been in first place this late since 1990. They haven't got off to a better start than this since 1988 when they went to the Super Bowl last. And, as you say, Tom, a big win for them just on who it was and the type of play.
Yeah, it's Tennessee. It's a win on the road. You had to come back from 10 down on the road. And Carson Palmer, again, 27 of 33, 272 yards, highly efficient at the quarterback position.
And, again, you talk about defining win. They're 5-1, which means the first half of the season they're going to be at least 5-3. They do play Pittsburgh next week, but at least, if not 7-1, from 91 through last year, first half of the season, they were gone by Halloween, even though they were Halloween colors. 25-87. That's what Marvin Lewis's Bengals have done thus far. So, Browns, Ravens. Remember 2000? Trent Dilfer was the quarterback when the Ravens and Brian Billick won the Super Bowl. He wasn't invited back. He was back in town starting for Cleveland, but the first play, it's a fumble, and Ray Lewis, the Ravens, off a 21 penalty game and ejections and fines, and now they're playing some D. Well, they always play DeAnthony right to Todd Heap. Didn't look like he was in, but the Ravens off it. You're close to the goal line. Give it to you. 7-0 Baltimore. Now it's 16-3. Dilfer's pass picked off by Ray Lewis.
Yeah, Ray Lewis making great plays. He decided to take the team on his shoulders defensively. I'll show you how this game's supposed to be played.
The running star today was Chester Taylor for Baltimore, but Butch Hanna, the umpire, and that is such a tough position, turns his leg the other way. Now, Butch Hanna, wait a minute. Now, how do I? Just last week, he was inadvertently smacked by the Bucks' Rondé Barber. And, you know, these guys, look, what are you making fun of your umpire? That's one of the toughest positions in all of sports.
You see what an umpire goes through when they're standing in the middle of the football field and all that action's going on around them with all those big people running as fast as they can. Boy, can you get hurt.
So shout out to Butch and all the officials. Hannah will be out about a month with a sprained knee ligament, so we'll welcome him back. And the Ravens back in the winner's circle, win it by the count of 16-3. They controlled the ball for 37 minutes in this game. And they only had 11 penalties on this day, Tom. So not perfect, but they will take a win. Each team, the old Browns and the new Browns, are 2-3 when we return. Falcons and Saints in San Antonio. Michael Vick hurt early, but there were other stars for Atlanta in a wild game. And the Cowboys and Giants take it to the limit, and then some.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected. The Fantasy Ticker, brought to you by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
Well, a game with a big-time finish. Carolina at Detroit. Jake Delhomme. Daylight coming. You got it, Delhomme. Rod Gardner, touchdown. Panthers 7-0. So let's see. Delhomme has thrown one for his team, Carolina. But now it's time to throw one for the Lions. He tosses it. It's picked up by Boss Bailey. Healthy, back, and the boss in charge. Thunder Road for the boss. And we're tired at 7. Moments later, next play from scrimmage, Carolina. Delhomme says, wait a minute. Daylight come, and you got it, Delhomme. My team, Steve Smith, gone. No one's going to catch him. Could go all the way. Every Lion, including Alex Karras, tried to chase him. Couldn't get him, Tom.
And this is what speed can do for you. Watch where Steve Smith catches this ball in between 4 defenders, makes that break through the gap, and he has got to be one of the 2 or 3 fastest guys in the NFL.
He
runs away from everybody in this league.
What a season he's having. But then, now 2 for the Panthers, 1 for the Lions. No! Overthrown and picked up by Kenoy Kennedy. And he could go all the way. So Delhomme, 2 Panthers, 2 Lions. These within 6 minutes in the second quarter. And again, we're tied at 14. Now, the Lions have led at 20-14 after Mike Minter made a big play, hauling down Pollard at the 5 and keeping it to a field goal, not a touchdown. Delhomme scrambles and is nailed by Kenoy Kennedy. The good news is he's going to be all right, but he'd leave the game.
Yeah, 15-yard penalty on Kenoy Kennedy and probably a letter coming from the league office with a fine attached.
So Chris Winkie, who hasn't played since 2002, to Ricky Prohl. Shampoos it for 18 yards. Then 2nd and 10 from the 18. Prohl, how many times have we seen him catch big balls late in the game? Prohl, yes, down to the 3. 3rd and goal. Detroit's defense trying to dig in. They made a big goal line stand earlier, but Prohl catches a touchdown. They go ahead 21-20. Winky Dinky does it. Then R.W. McQuarters, can they get a big kickoff return? Yes, they can. McQuarters, what a clutch return to the 49, but incomplete, and then Joey Harrington, incomplete. Carolina took 3 timeouts when Detroit had the ball with about 3:40 to go. They stopped, and they got the ball back. And so the inability to pick up a first down then and any type of first down to give Hansen a shot is the reason why Carolina was a winner and why Detroit was a loser. Carolina 4-2, Tom. Winky, what a clutch performance by him. Giants, Cowboys. An extra prime cut. You know what? This is an all-you-can-eat night here at NFL Primetime. Eat all the prime cut you can. The Cowboys. It's Drew Bledsoe and Keyshawn Johnson in a big win last week against Philadelphia. They had words because of a fumble. It's a fumble again. Nick Bryson for the G-Men picks it up.
Yeah, but Keyshawn, you can see nobody more frustrated than him over the fact that he fumbled the ball again, and he would make up for it sometime during this game.
First, quote, big game for Eli, and we say that because, look, the whole division is over 500. Eli Manning pressured, though, here, unable to avoid the blitz, and then Manning and Plexico Burris, miscommunication. Anthony Henry with a pick at the goal line for Dallas. First pick in the last 125 passes, Eli Manning.
Yeah, and we showed you the pressure, then we showed you the pass. You can see how that pressure forces the quarterback to not put the ball exactly where he wants. Here again, the pressure coming from the bottom of the screen, overthrown Jeremy Shockey.
7 of 19 for 55 through the first 3 quarters for Manning, but, well, not yet. It was a turnover-filled game. Each team made 4. Burris catches this. Now he's going to fumble. Recovered by Dallas here. And Tom Coughlin, we can't do this. It's a low score. Look, it's at 7-6. Dallas would have a chance at a field goal, but in a game of just miscues, not that a 48-yarder is a gimme, but Jose Baby Cortez, no good. He missed 2 field goals on the day, one of them blocked by the Giants. So now, 2:12 to go. It's a 13-6 lead for Dallas, and Manning to Shockey, and he's going to get a first down. Bill Parcells says no. I don't like it. He would like this less. Tiki Barber, right tackle. First down. He ran for 64, but Tiki leaves the game after the carry, and the big rookie Brandon Jacobs, first carry on the day. He's a buster at the goal line. Fights and it's a fumble, and Dallas recovers at the 1 with 1:20 to go, up by 7.
And guess who's making the lick? It's Roy Williams. He's bringing a load with him when he hits. He knocks the ball out, gets down under there. They recover. What a huge stop for the Dallas Cowboys.
But the Giants defense holds, forces a punt, gets another chance. Manning, pressured, spins. Barry Sanders light, finds Burris at the 30. No huddle, in which Eli looked pretty comfortable in. Manning. You see the clock with 26 seconds. The snap to Shockey across the middle, and the big fella. Touchdown! Dragging Roy Williams in. Extra point good. We're tied at 13. We go to overtime. In overtime, Dallas wins the toss. They get the ball first. Bledsoe to his tight end, Jason Witten. Bing! Out of bounds at the 30. Witten caught 5 for 56. A breakout day for him. 2nd and 7. Bledsoe in the flat to Dan Campbell. Antonio Pierce. Pass interference. Cowboys closer. 45 yards. Jose Cortez. This time it's good. So in overtime, Dallas beats wasn't that the Emmitt Smith shoulder game, 16-13 overtime score once upon a time, just going back 12 years. This one, Dallas wins. They're 4-2. The Giants are 3-2. And although past history doesn't have anything to do with this, the Giants, oddly enough, after buys are 3-14. Just throw that out there because it did happen, but really it doesn't have to do with the buy. It had to do with a team that scores a lot of points.
That's correct.
Having chances but not cashing in, Tom.
Yeah, we talk about the importance of the red zone, and once you get down there as an offense, you absolutely have to put the ball into the end zone. That's what the Giants didn't do today, and that's where we begin our extra point. We're going to start this extra point in the second quarter. It's 2nd and 5 on the Dallas 15. Tiki Barber, a nice 3-yard run, 2 yards to go for the first down. We get a false start from Plexico Burris on the outside. Now it's 3rd down and 7. On the Dallas 17, you can see Greg Ellis coming from the top of the screen. He's going to beat his man and sack Eli Manning. They end up settling for a field goal. Now we move to the 4th quarter, 1st down and 10. Basante Shanko, a little bit of movement. So instead of a 1st and 10, you've got a 1st down and 15. DeMarcus Ware going to come in from the top of the screen. His athleticism wins that battle, gets the sack, lost the 10. There was a run by Eli Manning for 10 yards. We're not going to show you that, but the next play, Leroy Glover around David Deal. Ball picked up by Greg Ellis. Couple of opportunities for them to score as many as 14 points. They walk away with 3, and there was another pick thrown by Eli down in the red zone. So they had the opportunities to get the points on the board. Great job by the Dallas defense and a little misfiring by the Giants offense.
Sloppy game, as we said, both teams with 4 turnovers. Dallas with the ball at
40-plus minutes.
41 minutes.
Again.
So give Giants D some credit in giving up only 16 points with all the...
Coach Parcells football, you don't have enough time to win the game.
That's right. Hey, with Philly off, they were the team off. All of a sudden, this division wide open, and I think 6 weeks ago we wouldn't have thought that. A lot of people have thought, okay, the other teams are fighting for maybe a wild card spot when we return on NFL Primetime. Dolphins and Bucks fighting for supremacy of Southern Florida. Tampa Bay without their star running back. And Miami with their new one. Jags and Steelers work overtime. Visa Skycam getting you set for Sunday Night Football in Seattle. Is this the game for Houston? Houston at Seattle on Sunday Night Football, bottom of the hour.
It's time now for your chance to win one of 100 Philips HD TVs with DirecTV service for a year. Log on to 100yardblitz.com to enter. The code word is Puget Sound.
For the first time this year, New Orleans got to play in the same stadium twice. Michael Vick back in the lineup for Atlanta as the Saints were in San Antonio. Vick, this is what he does, avoiding the sack. Whoop! And he scrambles left, and hit by Fred Thomas, injured on the play. Right knee hurt again. He comes out for just one play, though.
Yeah, you take another look at this. His right leg actually doesn't have a chance to hit the ground. It comes down oddly across Fred Thomas's helmet, and I thought he might have hyperextended it just a tad.
Saints trying for the lead at the end of the half. John Carney. Oh, no! It's Sheila McCray. Demario Williams totally demoralizes the Saints. It's a touchdown, Atlanta, like we saw in the college game yesterday, the Big Ten. Demario Williams, touchdown, Falcons lead 17-10. 3rd and 10 Falcons, early 4th. Vick scrambling at 17 all game. He's going to dive forward for a first down. It's 1st and 10. Later in the drive, he's going to hit Justin Griffith for a touchdown. Now it's 24-17 Atlanta. Aaron Brooks to Dante Stallworth for a 27-yard touchdown. Penalty Atlanta, we're tied at 24. Keith Brooking makes a key interception for Atlanta. Now they're in business. And how about Warwick Dunn? On 1st and 20, he ran for 100. Those are impressive yards.
He's amazing because he's not only a good outside runner, he's just as good inside as well, Boom.
31-24, Aaron Brooks to Devery Henderson for a touchdown. 51 seconds left in the game. We're tied at 31. And so the sellout crowd trying to help the Saints in the Alamo Dome. But Vic says it's my game. Over to Algie Crumpler, the tight end, 1st and 10. Tick, 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 tick. 14 seconds left, 3rd and 2. Vic, play action, gets the first down and out of bounds. 1st and 10 Atlanta, 6 seconds to go. They already have a penalty to move it up to a 41-yard attempt. Todd Peterson, no good! And the Saints are going to force overtime. But wait a minute. In true New Orleans fashion, penalty called on Tony Bryant.
Yeah, watch Tony Bryant here. He's going to pull the end down, try to create a seam between the end and the wing. A lot of people do it, and it's the one call that the referees are looking for on an important kick at the end of a game.
And so now it's a 36-yard attempt for Peterson. It's good. Jim, after all they've been through, the Saints have to endure that one. You can see what Jim Haslett thinks about it. Again, there was a penalty in play before that with too many men on the field, so they kept inching closer till Peterson made it. And so Atlanta, losers late last week to New England, they win. They're up to 4-2, despite the fact that New Orleans outgained them 456 to 266 in this game.
Yeah, but I thought the key, obviously, Michael Vick and what he does, but look at the numbers on Dunn. The 22 carries, 100 yards, as consistent as any back in this league if you give him the carries.
Well, and two teams that like to slug it out on the ground, although missing some of their key players, and that would be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. When they're in the same division, this was quite a rivalry. They played a great game on Sunday night a year ago, won at the end by Pittsburgh 17-16, our second prime cut. And, of course, the Steelers in this game at home going up without Ben Roethlisberger. We saw him hurt. He was the third quarterback that they hurt in the last minute of that Monday night win for the Steelers against San Diego. So Tommy Maddox is the starter, and what a difference this made right away. Mike Peterson picks it off, setting up a Jacksonville touchdown. We're tied at 7 in the second quarter, and here's a way to do it. Return a punt. Roethlisberger looks, and Maddox looks. Antoine Randall L. It looks like there's no room on the near sideline, but look, Tom, there's the seam. A seal here, and the punter, whoop, 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 whoop. I don't think so. Gone. Antoine Randall L. 72 yards. Hansen did the triple Salchow trying to tackle him, I guess. It's 14-10 Pittsburgh. Byron Leftwich to Matt Jones. The rookie, one-time quarterback, one-handed.
You know, they talk about Matt Jones making a catch like this every day in practice. The great one-handed catch, tap the feet in. Doesn't look like a former quarterback. He's a present wide receiver now.
Jeff Reed has a field goal earlier, but his 46-yarder with under 4 minutes to go to take the lead. No good. No good. And so we remain tied. Jack Del Rio thrilled. Jaguars facing 3rd and 16. Leftwich. And you know him late. He's pulled us out so many times. He gets leveled, Tom, and a flag, Pittsburgh.
If you hit the quarterback in the head, you're going to get the flag. They'll call it, even if it's inadvertent. If you get it like that, like Aaron Smith just did, you're going to get the call.
So now Jacksonville gets a break. 1:46 to go, 3rd and 10. Leftwich to Jones, fighting for the first down. 2 plays later at 32 seconds to go. Leftwich. And watch this pass. It's perfect to Jimmy Smith, but Ike Taylor saves the day. Nice defense there. Now they're at the 32. I know it's the open end of the stadium. Maybe the field goal would have been too long, but a field goal could win it. And on 3rd down, they go into the end zone, and Bryant McFadden makes the pick, sending it to overtime. A surprise. The Steelers win the toss and get the ball to start overtime. Hines Ward, he didn't play, trying to coach up Maddox. They need a big return. This time it's Quincy Morgan, number 11. Again, that same sideline in front of the Steeler bench, and he could go inside the 30. What a big return. Rasheed Mathis, remember the name, stops him from going all the way. Willie Parker It's a fumble, but Pittsburgh falls on it. Lucky. 2 plays later, 3rd and 11. Tommy Maddox. Fumble again. Reggie Hayward falls on it for Jacksonville after Pittsburgh seemingly twice had the game in hand.
Yeah, I think this is just what happens when you don't get the reps, when you haven't been on the field, when you haven't been going full speed. Tommy Maddox turns around, can't control the football. Blown opportunity for the Steelers to go on and win the football game.
Well, there was holding on the Jags. The Steelers get the ball back, so they get new life. And then it's Maddox again on 2nd, and oh boy, it's Rasheed Mathis. He could go all the way for the win. The Jaguars come into Pittsburgh, and a Pittsburgh Steeler team that made 2 turnovers in 4 weeks make 4 today. 3 picks and a fumble by Maddox. But Jacksonville guts it out. They're the team going to 4-2. They beat Pittsburgh by the count of 23-17. And, you know, the Jags did it without Fred Taylor, too, so it wasn't only Pittsburgh that was injured.
Right.
Jacksonville, they beat Cincinnati last week. They beat Pittsburgh. They're a gutty team. Pittsburgh could not run on Jacksonville, even when they tried to move Parker outside. So very impressive for Jacksonville.
The 2 big guys inside, Stroud and Henderson, are as good as it gets. And everybody, I think, on that team defensively plays off of them. They stop the interior run. But when you look at the Steelers, Hines Ward out, Big Ben out, now you're looking at a showdown with the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know that, as we heard Steve Young say this morning on Countdown, Ben Roethlisberger probably at least a 2 to 4 week injury. Do we have to hasten his healing process now? They're getting ready to play a Bengals team that's alone in first place. I think you've got to get him in. We presume Hines Ward will be back in the lineup, but what a huge matchup we have now in that division.
Well, with Cincinnati in first place, and what you see is, okay, Roethlisberger, right? He's lumbering guy, just managed the game.
We talk about him managing the game.
No.
He actually does more than manage a football game. Honestly,
he wins every one of them.
He's won every game he's played
Other than New England
Patriots. That's right.
I mean, he wins every one of them. And we should give a high praise to Paul Spicer, defensive lineman, and our condolences. He lost his brother this week in a shooting. He was back after dealing with that, and he registered 3 tackles in this game and was involved in that play that Hayward got the fumble on. So a sad week, but he showed up to play football today for the victorious Jacksonville Jaguars. When we return, the Jets and Bills both changed quarterbacks last week and won. Who could run and pass their way to victory in the AFC East? Redskins and Chiefs. High scored. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Well, he sat out all last year, retired. He sat out the first 4 games this season for Miami because the NFL violating the substance abuse policy, but Ricky Williams back in uniform for Miami in a rare game for the Dolphins against the Buccaneers, the Battle of South Florida. Here we go in the new sombrero. Bucs won every game until last week. Ricky back. Cadillac Williams, the rookie, not in the lineup. 2nd straight week, Tampa Bay. Brian Greasy and Joey Galloway, a bit of a rebirth for him this year.
Having a tremendous first quarter, first 5-6 games of the season.
7-yard touchdown, 7-0 Bucs. Gus Farad, you want to see a catch? Yikes! Chris Chambers, time has come today.
Yeah, watch this catch because this ball is actually out of his line of sight when he grabs the point of it and brings it back down.
Brian Greasy rolled into by Zach Thomas, a sprained left knee. Greasy out, Earl Morrall in. No, excuse me. That would have been the Miami. It would be Chris Sims in. Well, another name, you know, Greasy out, Sims in. But, you know, we like Michael Pittman. Pretty good guy to come off the bench. Had a good game last week. Pittman, 57 yards. He blew past Jason Taylor. You saw that there, 20-6 Buccaneers. Meanwhile, against the tough Bucs defense, how would Ricky Williams do? Well, he takes a dump pass here from Farad for a short gain. And then he pops it for a 4-yard gain. And then 4th and 1. Late in the game, he stopped short. 8 carries, 5 yards. He's back, but a little bit to go. 20-6 Bucs late in the 3rd quarter. Gus Farad, still a game until Greg Spire says, no, it's not. Fumble! Will Allen picks it up for the Buccaneers. He's gone. Touchdown, Bucs. What they do so often with that defense. 33 yards for Allen. The Bucs go on to win 27-13 to move their record to 5-1. Pittman with 127 yards on the game, but the all eyes were on Ricky. 5 carries, 8 yards.
I think I played well. As a whole, I think our offense could have played better, and I'm part of the offense. But like Coach Saban says all the time, it's a process. And for me, starting my season this week, I felt I did pretty good. But I can look at film and find things that I can do better.
Well, he had only 8 yards running. Ronnie Brown had only 22 yards running. The Dolphins fall to 2-3. Dick Vermeil against Joe Gibbs. They hadn't coached against each other since 1982. Stories they could tell and do tell. Mark Brunell, tell this story. The Santana Moss, rebirth Brunell. Moss doing well as a Redskin. That's the understatement. 7-3. 14-7 Chiefs. A quick hit for Santana. Woo! Steve Smith's fast. So Santana Moss. A rolling Moss gathers no stone.
I said one of the 2 or 3 fastest guys was Steve Smith. This guy is somewhere in that top 3 as well, Boo.
Rock Cartwright, it's a fumble, but he's always around the ball. Shammy, how I love you. Shammy Knight, good night. 80 yards, touchdown. One of those defensive pickups paying some dividends for the Chiefs. They lead 21-14 in Arrowhead. Now tied 21-all. Tricky Chiefs. This is a beautiful looking screen pass to Priest Holmes. Then back around the other way. Look at this. Redskins falling left, right. Then watch him tightrope inside the 20. The 50. Wow, what a play by Priest Holmes. He couldn't find running room, but he found receiving room today. Celebrating with family. Meanwhile, Jared Allen, defensive end, 9 sacks as a rookie last year, Tom.
Yeah, he worked from the right side of the line. He worked from the left side of the line. He had success everywhere you put him. Look at him. Work the double team, knock both guys out of the way, and go and get the quarterback.
Boom. Another say he had 6 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 fumbles forced. I'd say that's a good game. But with the Redskins, they hang around, don't they? Minute 22 to go down 28-21. Brunell to James Thrash. 19 yards. 59 seconds to go, 3rd and 10. Former Patriot David Patton gets the ball. 15 yards to the Kansas City 33. 4th down after 3 incompletions. Brunell, Santana Moss, but that ball was there. Sammy Knight right there, though, Tom. Knocks it down. And to the Chiefs, after a bye, hold on to defeat the Redskins, who played close at Denver and at Kansas City, but now they fall like the Chiefs do to 3-2. Washington had almost 400 yards in this game, but it's the Chiefs that come away with a win.
Yeah, Clinton Portis didn't do what Joe Gibbs thinks in terms of them running the ball, he and the offensive line. But look at Santana Moss and the kind of year that he's having, even in a losing effort.
Look at Priest. 100 yards receiving, 18
rushing. Yes, it was an odd day in the NFL. We said that at the top of the show.
Skins had 3 fumbles. That did not help when we return. Patriots and Broncos. Broncos run out to a huge lead. Could they hold on against the chance? Elsewhere in the AFCs, the Jets and Bills in a late kick in Buffalo. Sunday Night Football, Sean Alexander and the Seattle Seahawks. First place Seahawks taking on Houston at the bottom of the hour. Sean Alexander in Kentucky as a youngster. Was the high school player of the year in 97. As a senior, he ran for 3,100 yards and 54 touchdowns. All told, 5th all-time on the Prep National Career Record List. 110 TDs, 6,600 yards. He's still doing it today.
Primetime Flashback, brought to you by NikeGridiron.com. You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Jets, Bills, you had a feeling this would be tight in Orchard Park, New York. Vinny Testaverde, his 2nd game starting since coming out of, well, not retirement, but certainly being inactive. And Willis McGahee, was he active? 23 yards for Buffalo. Shh, don't tell anyone. Kelly Holcomb starting again. To Jonathan Smith on the right side. Second effort, Smith. Nice play, 7-0 Buffalo. Now we move ahead 3rd quarter at 17-10 Bills. Jets on their own 39. Curtis, my favorite mark. doesn't look that hurt here, Tom. He had 148 yards.
We have not seen that Curtis Martin this year, but what a plus that would be for Coach Herm Edwards.
Well, when you get the running, you can play action. Testaverde looking for Chris Baker, but Angelo Crowell, who's playing in place of Spikes, the injured Takeo Spikes, makes the play. Now McGahee scores a touchdown. Willis had 143 yards today on 29 carries, 24-10 Bills. Holcomb, late third. Mark Brown, Jets defense doing it again. Down to the 1. Can the Jets make a comeback? Remember when Bollinger played 2 weeks ago? They couldn't punch it in from the 1 after a pick. Vinny, what a great all-time rusher. And Vinny in the end zone, 24-17. Jets now down 27-17 with 5 minutes to go. Ahoo! Werewolves of London. Fletcher, that is, pounces on the ball. Jets had 3 turnovers, and so the big running backs running for over 140, but neither Testaverde, only 12 of 26. And the winner of this game, Buffalo, finds themselves, if the Patriots would lose, in first place at 3-3 in the AFC East. That doesn't look like it has in other years, Tom.
Yeah, I just thought that the best thing is the Bills have found in Kelly Holcomb a guy who presents a passing game that you have to respect. That helps Willis McGahee do what he needs to do, 29 for 143. Makes him a different football team. Opens up things for Moles as well.
Talk about a guy you have to respect. How about LaDainian Tomlinson? San Diego Chargers off a tough Monday night loss, but one place he has just rolled is in Oakland. The Chargers swept the Raiders for the first time last year since 1992. Drew Brees to LaDainian Tomlinson, 35 yards, 18 straight games. Tomlinson has at least one touchdown of some sort, tying the NFL mark set by Hall of Famer, the great Baltimore Colt, Lenny Moore, who was like a Tomlinson back. Catching, running, he was great. Obviously Hall of Fame. Tomlinson, not bad himself. Look at him revert for 18 yards, Tom. How does he do it? Watch the 6 defenders here.
Yeah, take a look at this. When he sees those 6 guys, he makes a great cutback, and then he's got what I call the Barry Sanders bounce, because he pops right there, and he switches directions, and he's going somewhere other than where the defenders are.
And the inside handoff, Tomlinson, and he's in there for his second touchdown of the game. 14-0 San Diego. Kerry Collins trying to rally the Raiders off a bye week to Randy Moss. Double teamed, hit, doesn't get up, injured groin on the play. We wouldn't see him. Now, here it is again. And Moss going to try and go high, but the Chargers are right there to him. Now, 2 years ago in the stadium, Tomlinson threw a touchdown to Drew Brees. LaDainian, he's going to do it again. This time to Justin Peele. So first half, 97 yards rushing, a touchdown rushing, a touchdown receiving, a touchdown throwing. Do you get the picture?
He's pretty good.
He's real good. And the Chargers, in a much-needed win, they even their mark at 3-3 as they beat, there it is, 27-14. LT ends up with 140 yards rushing, and the Raiders, they're 1-4. The Denver Broncos are a hot team in football after an opening day loss, Tom. They won 4 in a row, and it seems like New England goes out there all the time. 4 times the last 6 years, they're into the Mile High City. The Patriots, off a big win last week against Atlanta, could they look for some more magic? And here we go in Denver. Mike Shanahan and the Broncos. Corey Dillon did not see any action, so Seymour, Dillon, lots of injuries. Jake Plummer says, hey, nailed by Asante Samuel's Jeb Putzer.
Yeah, that's a cover 2 where the corner's standing on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't come out. The quarterback doesn't see him, and you're actually led into that hit. That's unfortunate for the tight end.
He would return, though, Tom. Plummer, hey, had a steady game. He played certainly for 3 quarters to Rod Smith, the veteran, still getting it done, 72 yards. 2 plays later, Tatum Bell had a few big games here, Tom, last few weeks. 3-yard touchdown, 7-3 Denver. Then Denver does a little play action. Plummer shows run, rolls, buys time. Ashley Lilly from Hawaii. Aloha, 55 yards, burns Dwayne Starks. So Denver in business again on the long pass. Then New England depleted back there. Plummer Smith in the shadows, 91-yard drive, 14-3 Bronx. Even the guys that live in Denver need oxygen. So you guys get over it. Broncos with the ball to 21. Plummer to Tatum Bell. Ding dong. 68 yards right up the middle. Down to the 11. Leads to a Plummer to Kyle Johnson touchdown. Crowd is on. 21-3 Broncos. Plummer. Time. Nice. To Rod Smith. That looks so good when it runs like that. 4 plays later, 3rd and 1 at the 2. Mike Anderson. 28-3. Party on in Denver. But the Patriots. Field goal. Now touchdown. 28-13. Brady. The screen to Patrick pass. The bang with the interference up front.
Remember Daniel Graham last week? They might be one of the best screen teams in the history of this league.
28-20 after, well, here it is, Brady. Play action to David Givens. Well, they rule he was pushed out. So, yeah, touchdown. 8 yards, 28-20. The Broncos need a first down to ice it. I thought they were going to hand it to Otis Armstrong in that situation.
Go to Rod Smith.
They go to Smith, and that's all the Broncos need. And Bill Belichick's Patriots mount a comeback, but it's not enough as Denver's 28 early points sets the tone. Plummer, 17 of 24 for 262 with no picks. Brady threw 46 times, completing just over half of them. So, look, this was, did give Denver credit. First of all, they played with confidence on offense. Second of all, Tommy, they knew, look, New England, down the middle, we can throw on them, and they certainly have the weapons to do it, and Plummer delivered.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job of opening up the game deep. That's something that they hadn't done this year. The longest pass to a wide receiver going into this game had been 23 yards, so you do something a little different when you're playing the defending champions. I also thought they did a great job of pressuring Tom Brady in the first half, which led to that big lead. But it's not always losing. It's the way you lose. I thought that if the New England Patriots had gotten blown out, boy, it's a long 2 weeks as you go through your bye week. They came back like champions. They showed the character of a champion. They didn't win the game, but they're going to feel, and nobody likes to lose. You don't like the losing, but you're going to feel a little bit better about yourself when you go through this 2 weeks before you get a chance to play.
Well, I mean, just to put in perspective what they've done, they're now 3-3. That is first place in the division, or the division not shaping up right yet the way it was. They haven't lost 3 games in a regular season since 2002.
It's been a while.
So it has been a while. But now the Patriots have a bye week. They have Buffalo. Then they have a Monday nighter with the Colts. We might as well read the release. Everybody has reported it. Mort this morning and reported the last couple of days. The Patriots had a statement Sunday. So will they get some improvement on defense? Well, Teddy Bruschi, who suffered the stroke in February, has been cleared to play. He's received unanimous medical clearances from outside neurology specialists. He passed multiple physicals with Patriots team doctors. He's medically cleared to resume his playing career. It's now up to Bruschi, his family, and I'm sure the owner, Robert Kraft. This is touchy stuff, as we talked about this morning, for a final decision. He can go and start practicing with them, and they can wait 21 days to see if he can play this year or not. We just hope it's the right decision.
That's right.
Whatever it is, please make it the right decision, not only the emotionally right decision. I'm sure that they will consider it all. When we return, game balls, lots of candidates. We'll be back.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected. Primetime Performers, brought to you by Honda. Introducing the half-ton Ridgeline. Above all, it's a Honda.
Boom, my game ball is going to go to Jared Allen, rookie. Last year out of Idaho State, he led the team in sacks last year. He had a career day today. You look at the numbers, 6 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. You know, it's a day you live for as a defensive end.
Be cheering in Pocatello and cheering everywhere. Again, LaDainian Tomlinson, when you tie a record held since the mid-'60s by the great Lenny Moore, 18 straight games with a touchdown in a game your team had to win. You ran, you threw, you caught for touchdowns. LT gets the game ball. Well, you know, the Colts are still the last undefeated team, and they play on Monday Night Football. A lot of divisions already are bunched up.
It's going to be, we can tell already it's going to be a crazy finish.
Well, we saw it today. The difference between winning and losing, an odd defensive play.
That's right.
Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching. Sunday night.